Ciao guys!
Ciao!
So here we are, Pipe and me, presenting you the official campaign booklet for admissions. So I'm just gonna now share our screen so you can see the booklet and not our pretty faces, because I think that, yeah, you're gonna be seeing a lot of us this year. That's okay for now to go with the booklet. Okay, so in this moment, you should be able to see the booklet on your screens. What are we going to be talking in the next like 15 to 20 minutes is mostly like, okay, first, what is the context of admissions, then how to do talent planning, what are the essential things that we will do for this attraction, and then how the processing will look like. In the end, we're just going to briefly explain what are the activities and responsibilities of each one of you and us. One just like point of clarity in the beginning. With this booklet, we will start the campaign preparation phase, which means that we will be starting to create materials for online and offline promotion. And then based on the timelines that you will send to us after looking at this video, we will define the official date of the campaign launch. So Pipe, you can start.
Okay, guys, so moving on, as maybe some of you know, talking about the marketing people, we're facing a challenge and an evolution in terms of the change between TXP, between TM and TXP. So it includes a lot of things, but one of the things that we're changing, what we used to call recruitment, now it's admissions. And admissions is one of the processes of the engagement part of TXP, in which we're attracting the people and we're connecting them with the organization in order to, after leaving the organization for 2 weeks, they will be able to want to continue the organization, and we'll have connect people after this phase. So that's basically the main idea and the reason of changing recruitment for admissions. Let's say the main differences between admissions and recruitment. I can define it as admission is like more pull-up strategy, and recruitment is more push. The idea is that we're changing the mindset that AIESEC is an organization that can offer the exchange to everyone, but not everyone can be our HR, specific people with specific characteristics. So that's the main concept and the main reason of changing admissions for changing recruitment for admissions. Here you will find a brief explanation of the admissions process. So first we have the talent planning that is part of the preparation and all the things that will happen during August. Then we start with all the attractions. So we start selling our organization with the right expectations. So that's something that we will talk also about here. So all the online, offline referrals and all the PR things that we're gonna do in order to attract the people and show them the organization. Then we have the processing part, in which people, okay, they were attracted to the organization, so now we have to process them and to set them what will be the process that they will run. So we have to contact them, and we'll explain you what's our suggestion in terms of how to process the people. And then when we process them, let's say that when we contact them, then we have to know who is applying, because just filling a form is not enough to know who is behind that person that is applying to be part of the organization. So we have to run what we call the tell us about you phase, in which we will define, you can define in your local committees if you prefer an interview, can be physically or virtually, or if you want to ask them to send a video explaining why they want to be part of the organization, or what are the motivations and the contribution that they can give to the organization. And at the end, when we overcome this part, we have the onboarding part, just to set also another expectation. In this booklet, you will find all the processes, all the directions until tell us about you. For the onboarding part, we'll start working with the EST, and they will launch another guideline that will be focused just on the onboarding part. It's important also for you to know that in your local committees, you have to decide if you want to run the pilot of onboarding or not. And also during the application, during the form that you will send us, with all the talent planning. You will tell us if you are interested in running the onboarding or you prefer to do it later. So just to set this expectation that we will not have, let's say, content about onboarding in this booklet. Now, moving on. Okay, one important thing is that we should, in this case, not hiring, but having the best talent in our organization. This is something very important. And when I say the best, is not only because they are, let's say, the most outstanding people, but also because they are connect with the organization. I think that's the most important thing, and it's the main key point to ensure during this recruitment process. So now we have the first part, the preparation part, that is the talent planning. So we have been talking about this with the VP's TXP during facts, and I'm just going to briefly explain the idea. So the idea that we have to understand how many people do we need in order to fulfill our goals in terms of exchanges for the next period of time. So the idea behind talent planning is, okay, understanding what's our goal and what will be the people that we will need in terms of in order to accomplish our goals. I hope that's clear. And for this, it's necessary to understand, okay, how many people will continue in the organization, how many people we expect to have after the admissions process, can know which is the gap. So here, you will find let's say, a short guide of how to do a talent planning process. The first part, as I told you, is to understand how many members do we need to achieve our goals. And this is based in a concept that all the VPs, TXP, are used to, and they know it. That is the individual contribution, or what we used to call productivity. And according to that, we can understand how many people we need. The second step is, okay, now how many members will continue the team experience? So according to the career plans, interviews, one-to-ones, surveys, you have to know how many people of the people that you have in the local committee will continue their experience in the organization. And then you will have a gap. And this gap, after relocation, reintegration, will define the goal that we have for admissions. And then we can start working on attracting that people that we need. Something very important is that the talent planning process finishes when we have all the JDs and we have the whole structure of the local committee. So the expected outcome of the talent planning is the structure with the clear JDs and the clear KPIs, so we can understand which is the role of every person in the local committee and how they are contributing to the organizational goals. You will find at the end of this booklet a template of how to set this talent planning. And we also want to know from the national office which is your talent planning in order to support you during the admissions process. So I hope this is clear. Anyways, for example, if you have any question regarding the talent planning process, please approach me and approach to the NCVP proxy, that is Veronica Armani from Bologna, during August. So now moving on, Dushan is going to explain you the attraction part.
Amazing. So attraction, basically there's going to be four parts of the booklet that's concerning attraction. So we're going to talk about value proposition, how we want to brand the campaign, what are the channels and how we want to use the channels, and then how we are going to do the campaign execution. We want to, like, starting from what Blue Book says, there is a very clear descriptor that AIESEC, like working in AIESEC or being member of AIESEC, is part of, should be branded as being part of AIESEC itself and not under another sub-brand, which means that global leader as a brand is going to retire. Other than that, in Blue Book, there is in part this highlights what should be the value proposition that we offer to students if they want to become part of the organization. So there is stated that the main values that we are offering are personal and professional growth, being part of a global network, contribution to the society, and leadership development. Of course, if you go to the Blue Book, you can read way more in details about what are their suggestions on how to promote the value of being member of AIESEC. But moving on from the Blue Book, the next very important discussion that we had was not this, but this. What should be the brand that we want to put behind the recruitment, because behind the admissions process? And for this, we decided to use the brand of Make in Italy / Make It. How we came to this? Well, we started from analyzing what are the admission strategies of other entities. We mostly focused on AIESEC in Colombia and their strategy, which was like to connect, to create a brand with a very which will reflect very strong purpose of AIESEC for the country, and being part of AIESEC as an opportunity to develop yourself and concretely make an impact on your society, which is the value that we want to offer to students. So based on this, we said that, okay, we want to recreate brand of Make in Italy and use it for a recruitment purpose, for admissions purpose. And now people is gonna kill me. What does it mean? It means that we want to align all of our communication with the message of strong purpose and doing things for better Italy. And through refreshed brand, we want to communicate this, make it as a concept of doing good things today for yourself and for your surrounding. The whole value proposition is divided in 3 parts. The main part of our communication is going to focus on the value of improving yourself in a practical environment. So basically, in order to make it, you need to develop yourself, gain skills, and learn through practical experiences. Then there is this part of making positive impact on your local reality, which means that you can make it for your local environment by working on purposeful projects and developing ideas on making Italy better. And then, of course, there is the part of creating a strong network of like-minded individuals, so engaging with similar people and creating network for yourself. That in order to be successful, very often it is about how strong your network of people is, and you can make your network by joining AIESEC. Moving on. This laptop today doesn't like me. Okay. Moving on to the promotion. Context of the admissions is being fast and efficient. Since we have 3 weeks for promoting, we want to utilize our channels in the best possible way. That means that we focused on 4 different channels. So we focused on online promo, offline promo, external relations, and referrals. What we want is we want to integrate our communication on all of these channels and to have one message that we are transmitting. Also, all of the communication should lead to the landing page from where we want people to subscribe. Why? Because most oftenly, through communication on any of the channel, we cannot transmit the whole message, but we can just spark the interest. When we spark the interest, we want people to go to the landing page of admissions and then see all the information that they need in order to become a member of AIESEC, where they will also very clearly have a place where they can submit their application. Moving on, starting with the channels, online is going to be run from the national side, as we all agreed on the merge of Facebook channels. So there are 4 main content lines that we want to use during the admissions process, which are people of AIESEC, benefits of being AIESECer, everyday leader, and hard content. Explanation of all of the lines are you can find in the booklet, so I'm not going to go that much deep into it. Basically, the main thing is we want to bring the benefits of being an AIESECer closer to every student through soft content, and then through hard content, we want to make a really clear connection on how the things that how his academic life is connected with the experience that he or she has besides the academic life. So how AIESEC can help them develop professionally, but also personally, in order to be more successful once they finish with the university. Of course, concrete activities you can find on the link. There are some examples. Also, we will be adding, now with the EST start working, we will be adding another ideas on these content lines there. And as I already said, all of the communication from online channels should lead directly to the landing page, not to other pages, and not directly to subscription form. In terms of landing page, we were quite impressed with seeing how Google simply explains the process of hiring, and we want to do something like this for the landing page of Join AIESEC. So, and guideline on how the landing page finally will look like, you can find on the screen. Of course, we will do our own version of that, but the key principle is simplicity. When it comes to offline, there are 4 main activities that we need to ensure from offline side. So there are info desks, class shouts, events, and university-run campus presentations for admissions, or like these freshman days, or however they are called in your local realities. Basically, activities that universities are organizing in order to welcome freshmen on the campus. When it comes to info desks and class shouts, most important thing, we already have them. We already are doing them. Most important thing here is evolving the way we do them. So you can expect a lot of guidelines on how to do efficient class shout, for example, during the next month. I'll also try in your LCs to focus on how you educate people that are going to run these activities and to prepare them well enough so we don't waste our opportunity that we have in front of students. Also, the very important note is that these are just the basic activities. So everything that you want to do besides this, be it teasers with stickers, be it another guerrilla marketing activities, or whatever you can think of, you're totally free to do it as long as it is aligned to brand and value proposition. And it's more than welcome. These are just the guidelines that we want to ensure that happens in every else. Moving on to external relations, they should be used as amplifier for our attraction. So basically, we have the basics, which are online and offline activities, and then we have the amplifier, which is external relations. And there are 3 main things: university relations, influencers, media partnerships. University relations, mainly with the goal of positioning our opportunities on university website and having university recommends our opportunities and sending notifications to all the recruits. When I talk about influencers, I mainly mean about everyday influencers, people that influence decisions of students in everyday level. So university professors, university deans, or people that are close to them when they go to university. And how we can engage these people to promote our opportunities. And then, of course, understanding what are the medias that our students are reading and positioning our opportunities there is also essential. Another thing, again, this is the basics, basically minimums that every LC needs to ensure, and then everything you do above that is more than welcome. Talking about referrals, both me and people believe that this can be actually the most important strategy for attracting new people for admissions. And basically, there is no more powerful channel than like word of mouth. And how to foster word of mouth as a channel? Well, through the referral strategy. So you want your current members to recommend the opportunity of engaging with AIESEC to their friends, because in that way you will have the right expectation setting and you know that you will get the profiles that are good. 3 main things to ensure this are to make your whole LC aware of what is happening, meaning that admissions are happening. So when you will have next LC meeting, on the newsletter that you are sending to the LC or whatever communication channel that you're using, make sure to make all the LC aware that admissions are happening and that you need new people to join AIESEC. Then, on the first touch point, educate all LC on how to transmit the right message. So what are the benefits of being AIESEC and why should someone join the organization? And then build clear system of R&R and tracking, so to award the ones that are contributing by bringing their friends to the organization. And now we move on to timeline. So with regards to timeline, already people was talking about it, so I will go very briefly from that. So basically, we divided the whole admissions into like 3 phases, or from the internal perspective, it's like preparation, where you do the talent planning and you do the preparation for the campaign. So in this phase, you need to schedule all the online, offline, ER, and referral activities, to make the plan for them, to prepare all the materials, to get all the permissions, to contact the professors for class shouts, to contact university for external relations, etc., etc. This all needs to happen in these 3 weeks of preparation. So in these 3 weeks of preparation, you are doing all the preparation for attraction. Then you have 3 weeks to execute attraction. So in these 3 weeks, you just basically run the activities, but you are already having everything ready before that. and then you will be able to do the whole process in 3 weeks. Because if you have everything ready before, then in these 3 weeks you just execute. And this is the essential thing to make admissions happen in 3 weeks, attraction for admissions happen in 3 weeks. And then you have 2 weeks for onboarding and discovery days. So basically in 4 steps, how becoming an AIESEC should look like. There is a national league that students are applying to. Then they have the part where they introduce themselves through online, offline interview or video, depending on how you decide to run it in your local reality. You have process of onboarding, and then they got the chance to meet AIESEC.
Exactly. Okay, and the final stage or the final topic that we're going to abord here in this booklet is the processing part. So once we get applicants, okay, what should we do? And here you will find some, let's say, guidelines recommendation of how to process the people in terms of contacting the applicants, aligning the expectations, and how to run this part of tell us about you. That, as we said before, is we need to meet the people that is applying for the organization before they start, for example, the onboarding part, and make them, for example, think what are their motivations for being part of the organization. So the first thing is, as soon as we get the applicants registered on the national link, they will receive a confirmation that they apply for the organization. And from that moment, it's very important that you contact the applicants. So something that in which we should be aligned in the national level is, okay, we have to review we have to review daily the number of applicants that we are getting and contact them in no more than 2 working days. 2 working days is a lot. Imagine someone who applies on Monday, the latest should be contacted on Wednesday, but that's like the, let's say, the maximum time to be contacted. It's very important to be super aligned in this part, because in this way, if we let the time goes and we don't contact them, we will lose and we will not capitalize all these people that is applying, and it's very important. So one important part here is everything will be in Podio, so you can check every day in your Podio space which are the applicants by LC, and you will get here all the information to contact them. So it's very important to align this part. The second part is, okay, now that we contact them, we set with them the expectations. We explained it that they have to, for example, to have an interview, or they have to send a video, or you can decide, for example, a motivation letter. You can decide the method, but the idea is that you can know more about the candidate, and as I explained before, you can understand their motivations to be part of the organization. So if you see, this is something simple, but it's a clear call to action, and is able to do this part. For sure, you will have people that really wants to be part of the organization, and it's not people that just fill a form because they were interested, because you are engaging them with this small call to action, and at the same time you are understanding their motivations to be part of the organization. And then it's very important that when you contact them, you align the expectations with them. So 3 things that in our opinion should be aligned is, the first, that they will run a selection process, and that you have a specific amount of opportunities in your local committee that are basically your admissions goal. So it's important from the beginning to tell them that you have a specific amount of opportunities. The second thing to align is, okay, they are going to leave, for those LCs who decide to run the onboarding, they are going to leave the organization for 2 weeks. So they will have some challenges in which they will know more about the organization. And after that, you will announce and allocate the official members. So it's important to clarify that even if they will be, let's say, part of the organization for 2 weeks, it doesn't mean that they are official members of the organization, because it will happen after the onboarding part. And the third important thing is the profile that we're looking for should be available to be part of the organization at least for 6 months, so they can live at least one experience, let's say, as team members. So it's important also to understand, for example, if someone plans to go on Erasmus 2 months after, let's say on December or January or February. I don't understand very well the dates of Erasmus, but if they are planning and it will not let them to finish their experience, you should evaluate if they are a good candidate, because they will not live a complete experience, and this is very important now from the TXP side. Now, moving on, so just to sum up, we have some suggestions in terms of how to, what should be the main activities and responsibilities from now on. The first part that we already talked is the talent planning. So please, during August, please select your admissions team and work with them in all the applications goal, teach them how to do the talent planning. But the most important thing is co-create with them all the activities and the timeline that you want to do. The main responsible for this admissions plan, for the admissions team selection, are the VP Marketing and VP TXP. Then we have all the admissions team preparation, in which, okay, you plan, now you have to prepare them, be aligning the messages that you want, be aligning the goal that you want to, in the goal that you expect to have in terms of members at the end of the admissions project. And then we start with all the attractions part. So in the attractions part,
in general, like your responsibilities, VPs, is to make sure that everything is happening. So your responsibility is to ensure execution of the campaign. Campaign should be executed by admissions team. So that's why, again, what a strong synergy between TXP and marketing is important for leading the admissions team, but in the execution phase especially. So you have then running ER activities, offline activities, and referral campaigns with different set of responsibilities, but again, with final responsible for all the final responsibility for all the attraction being on VP marketing.
Exactly, and it's also very important to define since the beginning, which will be, for example, responsible of contacting the applicants. How will you divide those responsibilities between the admissions team? And here you have the suggestion of activities. So first, you have to design. If you are going to have an interview or video or motivation letter, whatever you define, you have to design how are you gonna set these tasks to the applicants. And then once we are running all the let's say the processing part, who will contact the applicants, and how will you follow up the interviews or the videos, if you will get everything in a email, or you will get or collect the videos in a podio form. All these kind of small details will make the difference, and it's very important to have it clear since the beginning. That's basically in terms of activities and responsibilities. And now we have a task for you. So we're recording this video because we want to be as clear as possible, and also you have questions you can ask us. But now the idea is that, okay, all these things that we were talking, we have to put everything into action. And the first task that we have for you is here. You will find a link. It's a Google Drive in which you can go and you will get the main things that we expect from you to have at the end of the preparation process and at the end of the talent planning. So the idea is that you send us this plan to a podium form that you will find here. Also here, it's also a link. And so we will collect all the talent planning and all the admissions plan for from every entity in order to help you and support you during the admissions process.
Two very important things. One is regarding LCs that are starting earlier than 28th of August. I know that there are LCs. Please make sure that to contact us as soon as possible. So like Denise Botechin, like as soon as you see this and make the plan, contact us. Also other LCs that are starting in August. So we can adjust also for the online promotion and all things to be as fast and agile as possible. And then the other thing is actually with regards to your questions and inputs. We will try to make these videos in order to clarify all the doubts that they may be. But of course, if there is something else, make sure to send us an inquiry. We will put a very short link in the email where you found this video, where you can put all the questions that you have, and we'll make sure to answer them as soon as possible. Also, you can contact for everything our proxies, amazing Ibello and Veronica, and then they will also be able to answer all of your questions regarding this.
Guys, the final message is, please remember that August is a very important month in terms of all the preparation, and it will define the success of our admissions. So please don't keep calm, because we need a very good admissions process. We need to do an admissions process that we haven't done before here in Italy. So please give your best, and you count with Mr. Dushan and with me. And thank you very much for watching this video. And remember, if you have questions, please let us know.
Thank you. See you soon.